Hey guys, so this is part one of a three-part review for the midterm. These are just some sample questions that you may or may not see come next week. So I would definitely give this video a couple of watches. Try the problems on your own and see how it goes. Okay, so number one, evaluate x squared plus 12 when x equals 5. Whenever you see a question like this, all you really have to do is wherever you see an x, you substitute whatever they tell you what x is. So in this case, x is 5. So 5 squared plus 12. All we have to do is follow order of operations now. Our order of operations says do exponents first, so this becomes 25 plus 12. And 25 plus 12 is simply 37. All right, you should be getting a pop-up box now to try the next one. Okay, evaluate x squared plus 12 when x equals 8. All we have to do is wherever we see an x, we put in 8, and then we follow order of operations. So 8 squared is 64 plus 12. 64 plus 12 is 76. Okay, write a phrase to represent 16x minus 12. So this is a tricky question because you're not actually solving anything. You're putting this expression right here into word form. And there's a couple of different ways we could say that. We could say 16 times some number minus 12. We could say 12 less than some number times 16. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways we could say that. All right, so take a look at 13x minus 5, and you should be getting a pop-up box now for this question. Okay, and the answer would be 5 less than 13 times some number. Okay, all we're really doing is we say it, we're just putting the words down that we say. All right, the next one. What is the ratio 4 to 24 as a fraction in simplest form? Okay, well, remember, you guys probably remember this from 7th and 8th grade. Whenever you're writing a ratio in fraction form, the first number is your numerator and the second number is your denominator. Okay, so here we have 4 over 24. All we have to do now is just reduce this. Divide the top and bottom by 4 and we get 1/6. Okay, you should be getting a pop-up box now to try the next one. Okay. So the ratio of 8 to 28 as a fraction, we put 8 on top, 28 on the bottom. Now let's divide the top and bottom by 4, and we get 2 over 7. And that is 8 to 28 as a fraction in simplest form. Okay, Jeremy sold 25 candy bars, and Tabitha sold 20 candy bars. What is the ratio of the number of candy bars Jeremy sold to Tabitha? So we're going to write a ratio in fraction form, and since Jeremy's name comes first, his fraction goes on top, or his number goes on top, and Tabitha's name comes second, so hers goes on the bottom. Okay, whenever we're dealing with ratios, you want to keep your answer as an improper fraction. Don't change it to a mixed number. But we will need to reduce. 25 over 20, if we divide the top and bottom by 5, we get 5 over 4. Okay, and in order to write this as a ratio, we can write it as 5 to 4. And another way we can write it is 5:4. Okay, give the second one a try now. All right, Jeremy sold 80 candy bars and Tabitha sold 75 candy bars. What is the ratio of the number of candy bars Jeremy sold to the number Tabitha sold? So, since Jeremy's name comes first, he goes on top, and Tabitha's name comes second, she goes on the bottom. Now we can reduce this. Let's divide the top and bottom by 5. 5 goes into 80. 5 goes into 80 16 times, and 5 goes into 75 15 times. So if we wanted to write this as a ratio, we could say 16 to 15, or we could say 16 colon 15. It means the same thing. Okay, that's it for that one. Okay, so here are some proportion questions that you probably remember from earlier days, proportions. And when we solve proportions, we do a method called cross multiplication. So we'll say 12 times x is 12x, and 24 times 4 is 96. So we have 12x equals 96. We want to get the x alone, so we'll divide both sides by 12 now. And we get x equals 96 divided by 12, which is 8. So x equals 8. Okay, give the second one a try now. Okay, if you went ahead and answered it, you cross multiplied here, and you got 18x equals 36 times 6, which is 216. Now we divide both sides by 18, and we get x equals 216 divided by 18 is 12. So x equals 12. Okay, you get 800 calories from eating 10 bananas. How much do you get from one banana? This is called the unit rate. So in order to find the unit rate, we're going to put 800 calories and divide that by 10 bananas. Okay, well 800 divided by 10 is 80, which means you get 80 calories per banana, per one banana. Okay? You should be getting a pop-up box now to try the second one. Okay, so 720 calories divided by 9 bananas. 720 divided by 9 is 80 calories per banana. And it's just a coincidence that 80 was the answer for both of them. 80 is not going to be your answer every single time. So just be careful of that. Just know that you're going to put the number of whatever you want one of on the bottom, and that's how you find the unit rate. So since we wanted to find one banana, that's why bananas went on the bottom. Okay? John sold $6,500 worth of goods at his job. If he earns a 10% commission, how much money did he earn? So whenever we're dealing with percents, the object is to multiply. We're going to multiply 6,500 times 10%, but we don't know how to multiply by percent, so we need to convert it to a decimal. 10%, all we have to do to make this a decimal is take the decimal point that's right here and move it over 2 places. So we have 0.10. That's 10% as a decimal. So we'll do 6,500 times 0.10. And if you calculate this out, you should get $650. That's how much commission John earned from his job. So let's take a look at the next one. Well, actually, you should be getting a pop-up box for the next one now. Okay, if you went ahead and answered it, you should see that John sold $7,200 worth of goods from his job, and he earned 14% commission, which is 0.14. Now, all we have to do is multiply 7,200 times 0.14, and we will get what John earned in commission. 7,200 times 0.14 is $1,008. So that's what John earned in commission. Okay, the last one, a scientific notation question. What is 1.72 times 10 to the 7th power? So 1.72 times 10 to the 7th power. So now we just need to move the decimal point 7 times. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you remember from the lesson, wherever you have the little cup like that, you have to fill it with a 0. So 1.72 times 10 to the 7th is 17,200,000. Okay, you should be getting a pop-up box for the last one now. Okay, what is 1.98 times 10 to the 3rd? So we move the decimal point 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and wherever we have a little cup, an empty cup, we have to fill it with a 0. So 1.98 times 10 to the 3rd is 1,980. Okay, thank you very much, and have a good night.